Radio for Europe. We need drinks. We need drinks. Radio for Europe. We need drinks.
Did you listen to us?
State shooting 63% on 19 of 30. Troy State shooting 45% on 15 of 33. State 3 of 7 from the line for 43%. Troy State 3 of 6 for 50. State holds 18 playoff.
We're getting a post-game interview?
Say when.
Okay. Fan one? Hey, whether they air that halftime, we got to get the tape. Terry. Hi there. Pretty good.
Are you commentating?
Yeah, I could do an advertising, I get my dental work done.
That's fine. We appreciate it.
Okay, I just smile real big. Peggy Wright. Where's Key?
Continue with your winning ways and win tonight. We'd like to talk to Coach Dominic after the game. If you could maybe pick out one player you thought played a good game tonight, we'd like to.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you, fair second I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's true. We kind of set the trend here. We're at standard by what others have done. When's the championship? When's the beer case stacking championship? Is it over? No. When is it going to be? Sheila, can you hear me? Sheila. The beer case stacking finals are immediately following the game, if you need to know that, and if you can hear me. She's sorry. She went over to the KA party tonight. Well, welcome back to the Valdosta State College Physical Education Complex, where tonight you're seeing exciting Gulf South Conference basketball. This game was recorded February 21st, 1985. The Blazers tonight are taking on the Trojans of Troy State and are leading 41-33 at the half. You're watching VSC TV. Well, let's go over the first half scoring leaders. Marlon Jones for the Blazers has 12 points, along with Leon Jones, who also has 12. And for Troy State, Hills has 16, and he also leads the Trojans in rebounding and in fouls, by the way. Well, Hills got himself a bit of foul trouble. He's in 3, and if he should foul out, things would look pretty gloomy for the Troy State Trojans. He is their key player, one of the best in the conference. Quickly, let us catch you up to date on what's coming up on VSC TV. Tomorrow night, follow the Blazers. It's time for Blazer Baseball. That's right, Blazer Baseball with highlights of the game versus Division I powerhouse Clemson, recorded February 23rd and 24th. And then Thursday, we got more highlights of the great Hayhira pick-in, and it's another new program, and that'll be seen at 6:30 p.m. So for the best in entertainment, tune in to VSC TV. Well, we're about ready to resume action here at the beginning of the second half, with Troy State getting the first possession of the second half, behind by 8, 41-33. And a change in the Troy State starting lineup for the second half. They're going to start Hot Rod Knight, who had a good first half, in place of Marlon McGoffey. So Knight running the point guard. He'll match up with Don Latson. And Valdosta State comes out in zone defense.
Blazers playing their original starting five.
Well, the ball ricochets around the rim and finally goes down. We had a big halftime here in the complex. We had the famous beer case stacking contest. We've had everything tonight, pep bands and terrible towels, cheerleaders, and the loudest fans contest. So we've seen it all tonight. A very festive atmosphere tonight. Well, jump ball, possession to Valdosta. Of course, now in college basketball, alternating possessions on the jump ball. Oh, Leon Jones shot it up with his left hand, but got nothing but air. But Walt Webb answers Leon's miscue with a rebound and a shot in. So it's 43-35. Blazers hold on to an 8-point lead.
Quickly, the Blazers come out with Parker, Webb, Jones, and Latson in the second half.
Well, Troy State trying to get some penetration and couldn't, but it didn't matter because Cochran was true to form on the 20-footer. Well, Don Latson will bring the ball up the court. Guarding him will be Fontenot. And Walt Webb with the ball over on the right wing. Passes into Dale Parker. Dale can't get it to fall. Leon went for the rebound. Walt Webb shoots it 2 or 3 times and finally draws the foul. Well, here's an interesting statistic. The Blazers were only able to shoot 43% from the foul line in the first half, and certainly that was on Coach Dominy's list of priorities for better play in the second half.
And speaking of statistics, Walt Webb, who's at the free throw line, is shooting 70% from that area this season.
Well, Walt didn't shoot up a pretty one that time, but it'll count 1 point all the same, and he'll try to sink the second one. And he does.
Valdosta State, 45. Troy State, 37.
Excuse the interruption of my colleague that time. It's just getting so loud here in the complex. Very enthusiastic crowd. Having difficulty at times hearing one another. Troy State on the offensive end of the court. Inside to Garrett. He couldn't get it to fall, but he'll go to the foul line to shoot 2. Well, Walt Webb picks up another foul. That's his second of the night. Well, Troy State down by 8. They'll try to cut it to 6 here.
And as a couple of minutes have ticked off in the second half, we might add that none of the Blazers thus far are in foul trouble. So looks good going down the stretch for Valdosta State.
Troy State's key player, of course, Hills, is in foul trouble. And therefore, something we have not yet noticed, Hills is not in the lineup for Troy State. So their coach's strategy is to keep Hills out of the lineup for as long as possible, stay close to the Blazers, and then insert the high-scoring Hills, who's scoring 22 points a game, into the lineup and hope that they can catch the Blazers late in the game.
Well, Troy State's applied a full-court press, but the Blazers make it just fine to the other end.
Well, Dale Parker getting things started the right way for the Blazers. 2 more points. 9-point Blazer lead, 47-38. About 17 minutes and 45 seconds left to go in the ball game. Blazers playing for a winning season tonight. They're 12-12. This is their final regular season game. They'd like to finish 13-12. Well, another basket by Troy State pulls them to within 7. But after
and
the basket
old give and go goes for the Blazers. but Marlin gets called for charging.
Well, Marlin gave it for 2, but has to go to the other end of the court because he charged. Blazers up by 9. Marlin's second foul tonight. Not a problem for the Blazers thus far.
And
Only 2
Marlon
fouls.
Jones has 14 points for the Blazers thus far.
Well, Rod Knight passes to Cochran. Cochran over to Fontenot. Interestingly enough, the Troy State Trojans, after the basket by Cochran, the Troy State Trojans have 3 guards in the game. They have 2 6-footers and 6'2" Rod McKnight. So they have 3 guards in the game. You see all 3 of them on the defensive end of the court right now pressing. So, well, Hill sits out. Well, Marlon Jones nearly had his arm taken off, but no foul was called.
And an argument ensues right in front of our sportscasting booth.
Well, the official says he heard it but could not see it, so we'll take his word for it. But nevertheless, the Blazers retain possession. Don Latson drives, passes back to Marlon Jones, back to Dale Parker, over to Walt Webb, and the whistle underneath.
And Keith, we saw some wheeling and dealing on the part of the Valdosta State team then.
Well, Don Latson doing more wheeling and dealing than a used car salesman that time down the court. But he passed it out to Marlon Jones, who drew a foul underneath, and the Blazers have the ball out of bounds. Walt Webb will get the ball back in play. And he does so, throwing it to the big man, the tall tree in the forest, Dale Parker.
And we've got a foul.
And the crowd starting to work its way back into the game.
And that foul's on number 13, Marlon McGowie.
The crowd still a little tentative, recovering from that exciting beer case stacking contest at halftime. But now they're getting back into the swing of things as the Blazers try to get the momentum back their way. Marlon Jones stops, pops, but he can't drop. And it's 49-42, 7-point Blazer lead. Ball stolen by a flying Marlon Jones. And Marlon is all over the court tonight.
Well, Marlon looked like he had the deep third position in the defensive backfield, but it's not football, it's basketball.
Leon Jones with a power move. Fouled about 2 different times, but no call made. And here comes Hot Rod Knight and the Troy State Trojans.
Hot Rod been pretty quiet for a while, Keith. Let's look for him to really explode here with the Troy State team down by 7 points.
A charge that time. It looked like it was called on Hot Rod. Rod Knight. No, it was called on Garrett. Garrett, averaging 19 points a game, picks up his 3rd foul, and Troy State's got all kinds of foul troubles.
So Walt Webb will prepare to bring the ball in as Don Latson will wheel and deal against Chris Fontenot.
Don seems to have no problems bringing the ball up the court. He passes inside to Dale Parker. Air ball, and Troy State rebounds.
Well, I think we'd have to say the key to this game thus far, Keith, the Blazers are really just out-muscling Troy State in that paint. So,
well, the tallest player on the Troy State lineup is 6'8" Carnell Cheatham, but he has not played yet tonight. So the Trojans are playing with the tallest man on the court being Dennis Garrett at 6'5". So Valdosta with a little height advantage with the 6'9" Dale Parker and a 6'5" Leon Jones muscling their way underneath. Garrett, who we praised for his high free throw shooting percentage, cannot get untracked here tonight, missing yet another one. And another one. Recheck those stats, Walt. Can he possibly be the 85% free throw shooter we were informed about?
I don't think so, Keith, but Leon Jones really takes charge around that basket. He's really slamming those rebounds around tonight.
Well, Walt Webb and Don Latson playing a little game of pitch and catch. Inside to Dale Parker. Walt threw to the wrong colored jersey. It's a breakaway to Dennis Garrett. He lays it up and in, and Don Latson runs up into the stand, sells peanuts, and takes the ball in for the Blazers.
Well, we almost had a chance for the old dunkaroo there, but no banana for the sports fans here.
Don Latson nearly traveling, getting the ball to Marlon Jones, to Walt Webb, stops, pops, and drops. Walt Webb 7-point Blazer lead, 14:40 to go. You're watching VSC TV. This game recorded February 21st. Back to action on the court. Rod Knight bringing the ball up the court for the Trojans. And a very wise timeout called by the Troy State University Trojans.
So with 14:35 to go in this ball game, it's Valdosta State 51 and Troy State 44.
And look what we have on the court. It's student cheering.
Well, Keith, we haven't seen this all year, but it appears that a group of students here at Valdosta State has come up with a little cheer whereby they spell out VSC on the court.
Well, if you weren't able to see it, it was quite exciting.
Well, again, we have a timeout. Al McGuire, Billy Packer are not here. Instead, Keith Murphy and Walt Tennyson are bringing you this game tonight on VSC TV, as we always do. And we'd like to remind you of some upcoming Gulf South Conference tournament action. Going to be a lot of action here in Valdosta this week.
Well, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, the Lady Blazers host the Gulf South Conference tournament. Games will be played at 6 and 8 o'clock. All the standings in the conference are not set yet, so we cannot tell you who plays at what times, but we encourage you to check into that. We'll be playing Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night. Come out and support the Lady Blazers. Let's bring home another conference championship.
And we might add that tickets for that tournament will be $4 for adults and the low, low price of $2. Practically a blue light special here at the complex.
Well, the students here tonight got in free because we're not in the tournament yet, and they're seeing a very exciting game. Troy State and Valdosta State. We've had a little bit of everything. Outside shooting, slam dunking,
and beer stacking.
You name it, it's been here tonight. We might add the terrible towels have been out. But right now, after a field goal by Garrett, who's gotten a hot hand in the second half, the Blazers back to the offensive end of the court. Marlon Jones from 20. And string music once again for Marlon Jones, 53-46, 7-point Blazer lead, 13:50 to go. And Hills is still on the bench. No, check that. Hills has just been inserted into the lineup. So Troy State making their home stretch push. That's Hills scrambling for it in there. But he was out-muscled by the tall, powerful men of the Blazers. Dish to Leon. We thought we might see another slammer, but he was cut off and missed the layup. Very quickly, Hills with the shot. And that's why the game could quickly switch around if the Blazers aren't careful. Hills and Garrett, the two leading scorers for Troy State, have got the hot hand all of a sudden.
And it's Valdosta State 53 and Troy State 48 as Walt Webb directs traffic.
Well, Webb dribbles to the top of the key. Trying to find somebody. There's Marlon. Marlon inside to Dale Parker. Turnaround Jay. Won't go down. Here comes Hot Rod Knight and the Troy State Trojans. It's popcorn time, but he had to go. He had to goaltend to do it. Dale Parker up in the atmosphere that time.
Well, Dale Parker takes the ball, and we've got a timeout called by Troy State with the score: Valdosta State 53 and Troy State 50. And the most importantly, the VSC cheerleaders have taken the court.
Well, before you know it, the game has quickly switched around. It is now 53-50. Valdosta State, after being up by 9, are only up by 3 now. So Troy State quickly pulling back into the game, led by Rod Hills.
Well, I think you mentioned earlier,
Check
Keith,
that, Andre Hills.
But the part of the success of Troy State in coming back in this game, you could attribute to bringing in their 3 guards, trying to speed things up a bit. As we said earlier, they were not dominating under the basket, and they were trying to work around that perimeter and get the outside shot. So they brought in their guards and put the press on the Blazers, and it's done very well for them. They now trail Valdosta State by just 3 points.
Well, a very accurate analysis that time by my colleague. But you also must keep an eye on Andre Hills, number 33, averaging 22 points a game. He is the hot shooting forward for the Troy State Trojans.
And
we also might add that Dennis Garrett is now resting, so they're going to put him, he's averaging 19 points a game and having a good night tonight. They're going to put him into the game any minute now, and they're going to make their home stretch drive. So Valdosta State are going to have their hands full down the stretch. Troy State is going to go for the victory. We've
you
got
can
a
bet the Blazers will
2-on-1.
be there. 2-on-1. Nice pass. That would have been a pretty play. Don Latson and Marlon Jones showing how the fast break should be properly executed.
So Marlon Jones, the leading scorer for the Valdosta State team, is averaging 75% from the free throw line, and he'll have a chance to make 2 shots here to put the Blazers up by 5.
Well, Marlon has 15 points on the night after that 1-pointer. He'll try to make it 16. Marlon Jones playing with a lot of intensity here tonight. And Marlon gets the second one. The Blazers up by 5. Troy State once again playing with 3 guards in the game. They've decided they can't outmuscle the Blazers. They're going to try to get a quickness advantage on them. The way to get a quickness advantage is not to run against Don Latson, though, so they'll pass away from him. Inside to Hills. He's a wild man, out of control. They don't call a charge, though, and the foul could be once again on lean, mean Mike Brown, and it is. That should be the 3rd foul tonight for Brown.
And Andre Hill and Marlon Jones are vying for leading scorer honors tonight. Andre has 18 while Marlon clocks in at 17. So
Well,
Marlon making his bid for our VSC TV Player of the Game to be awarded at the end of tonight's ball game.
Well, Andre Hills got the first one there, and he'll join the exclusive 20-point club once again with a basket here. Andre Hills unofficially with 20 points on the night after sitting out more than 6 minutes with foul trouble. Well, Andre Hills showing why he's a good player. And the Blazers moving the ball around the horn. Marlon Jones stops, pops, and drops. Marlon the Magician with another 2-pointer there. And all of a sudden, Jones and Hills in a scoring duel. 57-52, Blazers, 5-point lead, 12 minutes to go in the contest. And Andre Hills has the hot hand for the Trojans. Don Latson doesn't give him time to glorify himself as he brings the ball right back down the court. So Hills doesn't have a chance to rest. And Marlon to the top of the key. Hand off to Don Latson. And we got a traveling call.
And while we got a quick break in the action, we want to add that the sports editor of the VSC newspaper, The Spectator, celebrated his 22nd birthday Sunday. So hello to Eddie Trimble.
Well, nice block shot that time by Mike Brown. Fontenot with the ball. Passes back to Cochran, and the Trojans having a tough time with that Blazer defense.
And we got a foul.
Well, there's a bit of discrepancy as to who the foul is called on. But they call the foul on number 13, Marlon McGaffey. Once again, VSC facing that tough full-court press defense from the Trojans. Don Latson bringing the ball up the court. Double dribbled.
And it looks like Brad Phillips going to check into the lineup. He's going to replace Don Latson as the Blazers hold a slim 3-point lead now with just 11 minutes to go in this ball game.
Well,
things are tightening up.
Things are getting dangerous here in the complex. The Blazers have looked in control, but they've gotten a little bit sloppy as of late. Don Latson with 2 turnovers, and the Trojans will try to take advantage of that now. And here comes Dennis Garrett to finish out the game. He'll be checking in for the Troy State Trojans. And now Troy State has a possible 3-point play that could tie this ball game up. Things have switched around in a hurry here.
And we got a foul on number 32, Leon Jones.
That's only Leon's second foul. Leon usually being able to stay out of foul trouble while still playing aggressive, and he's been able to do that tonight.
So McGoey goes to the free throw line. He's shooting 65% this season.
Well, Andre Hills, not only is he an All-Gulf South Conference player, he gets down on the floor and wipes up some sweat. A team contributor there, that Andre Hills.
And the crowd comes alive here at Valdosta State with an unrecognizable chant.
We don't know what they're saying, but it's loud and everybody's getting into the game as it's starting to tense up as it's a tie ball game here in the complex. 57-57, 10:56 to go in the ball game. Don't go put anything in the microwave oven yet. We got plenty more Gulf South Conference action here.
Walt Webb having trouble getting that ball, but he finds Brad Phillips.
Brad Phillips just put into the ball game. Be interesting to see how he does against the two lightning quick guards at Troy State. Doesn't seem to be having any problems so far.
And Mike Brown going to draw the foul underneath from number 33, Andre Hills.
It's time for Troy State to push the panic button. Andre Hills has picked up his 4th foul.
So Mike Brown going to have a couple of shots. Mike's got 4 points on the evening.
Well, Mike will shoot 1 plus the bonus as Troy State has committed too many fouls and Valdosta State is in a bonus situation now.
And we need these free throws with the score tied 57 all.
And Mike can't get them for us, and with the rebound is Cochran.
So Troy State gets a chance to go on top for the first time in a long time tonight.
Well, there's the point guard, Hot Rod Knight, throwing over to Garrett. Garrett way across court to Fontenot. And Andre Hills with a couple of quick moves, and the shot won't fall. Mike Brown, the human skyscraper, out of nowhere, pulls down the rebound. It's a tie ball game, 10 minutes to go in the ball game.
Webb from 20 feet.
And Walt Webb. Webb pulled up the baseline jumper and puts the Blazers up by 2, 59-57. The crowd chanting defense. It's about the most excitable crowd we've seen in a long time here in the complex. They're enjoying this tough ball game tonight.
And we've got another foul.
Leon Jones picks up yet another foul, his 3rd of the night.
So we've got 9 minutes for Leon to stay out of foul trouble.
Well, Andre Hills already over the 20-point mark. Back to the foul line. One won't go down. Well, Andre feeling the pressures of this enthusiastic crowd.
Valdosta State 59, Troy State 58.
Well, a 1-point Valdosta lead, full court press by the Trojans. And here comes a handoff to Brad Phillips. He slips and falls, but gets the ball out of there. Mike Brown with it. Over to Marlon Jones in the corner. Brad Phillips asks for the ball back and gets it. Back to Marlon. Marlon inside to the power forward, Leon Jones. 2 points from Leon.
And Leon got 14 points to his credit tonight.
Rod Knight with the ball, dribbling up slowly. VSC now in man-to-man defense as they have been the past couple times down the court. So both teams matching up man-to-man, and Troy State throws one up into row F in the stands. Full court press. Valdosta able to get it out of there. Jones back to Webb. Webb back to Jones. Leon, that is. Brad Phillips with the ball. Over to Marlon. Marlon back to Mike Brown. Mike Brown having one of his better games of the year tonight. Coming off the bench and sparking the Blazers.
And it's Valdosta State 63 and Troy State 58.
Moments ago we had a 57-57 tie, but now the Blazers up by 5. Ball to Fontenot. Fontenot with a double pump pass inside. He doesn't get anything.
And I hope that's not a foul on Leon Jones.
And that is not what the, is that 30? And count your blessing, folks at home. Leon Jones did not pick up his 4th foul rather. The foul was on Brad Phillips. That's his 1st. The Blazers can ill afford to have Leon in foul trouble. So thankfully that one was on Brad Phillips, the point guard for the Blazers.
And Troy State University has now entered the bonus situation.
And Cochran gets one and now will shoot the bonus. Cochran having a fine game tonight for the Trojans. They refuse to die. They're down by 4. And the crowd gets back into it once again, but it doesn't bother the ice in the veins of Cochran. And steal inside by Garrett, and it's 63-62. Now only a 1-point lead for the Blazers of VSC.
Troy State playing that tough full court press.
Ball almost passed to yours truly, but it gets away from me, and Coach James Dominy catches it. Troy State playing tough defense. Now Walt Webb will take the ball in bounds.
It's a 1-point lead for Valdosta State with 8 minutes to go in this ball game.
And the foul called on none other than Hot Rod Knight. Marlon Jones with the ball when he was fouled by Knight, and we'll have the bonus situation 1-1.
And we were talking about Hot Rod earlier. Keith, the official just then charged Hot Rod with a foul, but we see old Hot Rod just pat the official on the back and say, "Good call, ref." And we miss a much-needed free throw that time.
Blazers hold on to a 1-point lead, and now the sportsmanlike Rod Knight with the ball against the solid all-around player for the Blazers, Brad Phillips. They're matching up man-to-man. Way out for Garrett, doesn't go down. Marlin with the rebound. Brad Phillips brings the ball up court. And things are getting tense here in the complex. Once again, you're watching VSC TV. Marlin with the ball. To Webb. You know the names by now. Webb stops, pops, and drops. Walt Webb slipped by his man, put up the 17-footer, and it was swish time for the Blazers. They lead by 3, 65-62, 7 minutes to go. And we have a wild scramble for the ball. And the foul called on Rod Knight. And quickly, head coach Don Maestri of the Trojans goes to a timeout.
And we might want to talk about for just a moment, Keith, Brad Phillips coming into that Blazer lineup, and he's done a fine job controlling that ball. Troy State's put a tough press on the Blazers, and Brad's been right there playing good basketball. He almost got a steal there and drew the foul.
Well, it's been a solid all-around effort from all the Blazers tonight. We've said before, the Blazers trying to get a winning season. This is their final regular season game. If they win tonight, they'll finish the season 13-12, their first winning season in 3 years. Well, you're watching VSC TV. We'd like to tell you about some of the programming coming up this week. Tomorrow night, it's Follow the Blazers at 6:30 p.m., but it's Blazer baseball. Games versus Division I powerhouse Clemson Tigers, recorded February 23rd and 24th. So turn into that exciting action here on VSC TV, and don't miss the great Hehira Pick-In. That'll be Thursday night at 6:30. But right now, we have a great game. Things are heating up. The flame is burning brightly in the complex tonight. The Blazers playing a team effort, trying to pull out an exciting Gulf South Conference win over the Troy State Trojans. Valdosta State will go into the Gulf South Conference tournament ranked 4th, and that's a good place to be for the Valdosta State Blazers. They'll get a first-round bye.
And we might add, if the Blazers win their first-round tournament game tonight out at the complex, they will probably face Jacksonville State on Saturday. Now, that is not for certain. However, the way the conference shapes up, it certainly looks that way so far.
Well, we wish all the Blazers all the luck in the world. They seem to be playing very well as of late. Let's hope they can continue their winning ways down the stretch here. Steal by Marlon Jones. He's off to the races. Pass to Mike Brown. And the lean, mean one lays it up and in. And the Blazers get a big play there. Mike Brown created the steal and very deservedly got the basket with a layup off the glass. 67-62, 5-point Blazer lead. 6:30 to go in the entire ball game.
And you got to believe with that last shot that the Blazers really coming together as a team right here at the end of this 1984-85 season.
And Lonnie Cochran has been very subtle about it, but he scored a bunch of points for the Trojans tonight. He's having a good game. Brad Phillips trying to find somebody to pass to. He finds Marlon Jones, turnaround jumper. The J won't go down. Ball batted around, and fast break. Knight went back with the ball. Can't get it to go in. And Hot Rod Knight packed up his suitcases and went traveling that time.
And Brad Phillips once again playing good defense. He foiled that fast break attempt, and he'll wheel and deal against the Troy State defenders.
Well, the Blazers playing tough here. Ball stolen. Leon Jones did not see the pass coming to him. Ball passed inside. Now Fontenot with the ball.
67-64, Valdosta State leads by 3.
This game recorded February 21st. Fontenot from about 30. He won't throw it up from there. Looks like it could be a steal, but Garrett recovers it. Now the ball tonight. The Blazers playing tough defense. Once again, Cochran with the shot. Up and in. And Lonnie Cochran has been the player in the clutch so far tonight for the Trojans. Walt Webb and Brad Phillips breaking the press of the Troy State Trojans. Now Phillips drives to his left.
And we got a foul.
It looks like a reaching foul on Fontenot. Chris Fontenot, the sophomore from New Orleans, Louisiana.
So Brad Phillips will make his way to the free throw stripe. He's shooting 45% on the season.
Well, Phillips, a better free throw shooter than his percentage would lead one to believe. And the Blazers, Coach Dominy calls on some offensive help from Tommy Conley. And Walt Webb, playing a fine game tonight, goes over to the Blazer bench.
Valdosta State 67 and Troy State 66. It's a very slim 1-point lead as Brad Phillips increases the lead to 68-66.
Well, a 2-point Blazer lead. They're going to need every free throw they can get down the stretch here. The Blazers hoping the home court advantage will do them some good here with 5 minutes to go. Phillips can't get the first one, but there's the clutch man, Leon Jones. And Leon threw it up, could not get it to go in, but he'll check into the foul line.
Well, the terrible red towels have come out now with 5 minutes to go in the game, and it's a tight one, a Gulf South Conference matchup between the Valdosta State Blazers and the Troy State Trojans.
Well, Leon brings his somewhat unorthodox free throw shooting style to the line and uses it to his advantage as he sinks it in. And Brad Phillips coming in and doing some fine relief work for the Blazers. Checks back out of the lineup, and Don Latson, the quick one, back in. And Leon gets them both. And the Blazers get 3 points that time down the court, and they lead by 4, 70-66. Knight, the point guard, now will have a tougher time as the ever-quick Don Latson will pester him every inch of the way.
And Leon Jones now has 16 points for the Blazers.
Ball past that time into the corner to Fontenot. Tonight, they're having trouble breaking the tough Blazer defense. But Garrett, once again, with that soft touch from about 15, and it's a 2-point Blazer lead. The Blazers are going to need the support of the crowd as they come down to the stretch.
And we've got a foul.
You call it, Walt. Foul underneath. Foul called on Marlon Jones. That's his third foul tonight. What's a 2-point Blazer lead? 4:22 left to go in the game. The Blazers trying to reach that winning season that's eluded them for the past couple of years. They're 12-12. A win here would make them 13-12. It's something they want very badly.
And Dennis Garrett at the free throw line. He's got 11 points for Troy State tonight.
And Garrett sinks a free throw that pulls the Trojans to within 1. So things are getting a little bit tense here in the complex. And we got a tie ball game. Everything's knotted up at 70 apiece. 4:22 to go in the game. Troy State stays in a full court, man-to-man press. Marlon Jones with the ball. Back to Tommy Conley. They need to get it over the line. And they do. Ball thrown up into a crowd. Leon Jones. Leon thought about the slammer, but safely laid it in. Wise move that time by Leon Jones. He puts the Blazers up by 2. Under 4 minutes to go in this exciting Gulf South Conference matchup here tonight. Trojans with the ball. Pass inside, deflected out. Will we have a foul call? And we do, and it appears to be on number 11, Tommy Conley. And it is on Conley. That should be his first foul of the night.
So it looks like Dennis Garrett is going to go to the free throw line for Troy State. He'll have an opportunity to tie the game up once again at 72 apiece.
Well, about everything you could ask for has happened tonight. Exciting to be here tonight. We've seen a great basketball game between two good teams. We've seen one of the largest crowds of the year, a very enthusiastic crowd. The pep bands here, the cheerleaders, the terrible towels are out tonight, and we had the beer case stacking contest at halftime. Now we got an exciting game down the stretch. So everything you could ask for happening here tonight, and you're watching it all on VSC TV. Lane violation that time on the Trojans, so they can't get both of the free throws. They'll settle for one. They're down by one as we go down towards the stretch with 3:49 left to go in the contest. Well, Troy State with a little better overall record of 14-11, but the Blazers with a superior in-conference record. Scramble for the ball. Garrett with it, passes into McGowie. He'll lay it up and in. Nice move. McGowie with a left-handed reverse layup. Got it to go, and for the first time in a long time, Troy State up by one, 73-72. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be an exciting finish.
Well, the Blazers getting hurt a little bit by that full court press of Troy State, and has paid off as the Troy State team now holds a 1-point advantage over the Blazers.
Tommy Conley with a frightening cross-court pass, but it met its mark. And lean, mean Mike Brown with yet another important shot. Mike Brown has had several key baskets tonight.
That's right, he's made several clutch baskets, and he's got 10 points to show for it.
Well, things starting to heat up more as the seconds go on. Crowd really getting into it. It's loud here. Trojans moving the ball around. Valdosta State will stay in a 2-3 zone defense, and Troy State is trying to find something. Dennis Garrett with a turnaround jump shot. Marlon Jones pulls down another rebound. And now the crowd starting to realize that their support can help the Blazers pull this game out. 74-73. Blazers back with the lead. 2:20 to go in the ball game. Tommy Conley with a beautiful alley-oop pass to Marlon Jones, and he was shoved to the ground, and Marlon Jones should get about 6 foul shots for the way he was pushed down that time.
Well, it was a flagrant foul. The Blazers tried the old alley-oop pass that time from Conley to Marlon, and while Marlon was in the air, the Troy State player just pushed him right over onto the end of the court. So Marlon going to have a couple of shots here.
Well, Marlon will make him pay for that foul as he goes to the line. Let's hope Marlon can sink too. The magician at the line. And it wasn't pretty, but it spun its way down through those cords, and it's 75-73. 2-point Blazer lead. Let's make it 3, Marlon. And he can't do it. There's a scramble for the ball. Troy State comes up with it. They're off to the races. Blazers slow him down by getting back quickly on defense. Troy to Hills, inside. And Hot Rod Knight somehow managing to fall into the stands and creating a turnover. So the Blazers get the ball right back with their intimidating style of defense. 2-point Blazer lead, 75-73. We're under the 2-minute mark in the complex. Tommy Conley all the way. Tommy Conley saw a crack of light and followed it, and his reward was 2 points. Dennis Garrett with an offensive rebound tried to put it up and in, couldn't get it to go, but he got fouled.
And Mike Brown committed the foul that time, getting the popcorn. It's a 4-point Blazer lead. Blazers 77 and Troy State 73 with 1:47 seconds to go, and Coach Domine signaling his team for a timeout.
Well, the crowd lends its support. They're cheering for the Blazers. They've played hard tonight. They'd like to see them pull it out. The Blazers defeated Troy State earlier in the year, 71-69. Well, Mike Brown that time picked up his 4th foul, but that should not be a big factor now with only 1:47 to go in the game. Blazers lead by 4, and here come the cheerleaders with that dangerous pyramid move.
I don't think I can bear to watch that pyramid move, so we'll move to some statistics so far. Marlon Jones leads the Blazers scoring effort with 20 points, and Walt Webb having a real good night. He's got 14. And Leon Jones has 18. So big nights again for three Blazers. I think that's what we talked about in the last game the Blazers won, Keith, was that there wasn't just one player who scored all the points. The Blazers had balanced scoring attack, and it looks like that's been the key to their last victory and hopefully to a victory tonight.
Well, the Blazers have had a team effort, and another team effort was just displayed by the VSC cheerleading squad as they successfully completed that pyramid move and got a nice round of applause from the enthusiastic crowd here tonight. The terrible towels are in effect. The red towels you see raised at various times in the stands tonight. But back to action on the court. Let's hope the Blazers can get the fans to wave those terrible towels by pulling out an exciting victory here tonight. There's 1:47 to go. As we've said, it's a 77-73 Valdosta State lead. Troy State, however, is at the free throw line with Dennis Garrett with 2 free throws. He's a good free throw shooter. And the crowd manages to disturb Dennis Garrett.
So Dennis Garrett, who was shooting 84% from the free throw line going into tonight's game, misses the first and tags the second.
Well, Garrett among the top 10 in the nation in free throw shooting percentage. It could be
And
slam
there's
dunk
the
time.
stopper. Oh boy.
And the terrible towels are out. The fans are on their feet. The cheerleaders are cheering. The band is playing. And it's pandemonium here in the complex.
Valdosta State 79, Troy State 74, and Valdosta State's got the ball.
Mike Brown registers a 9.1 on the Valdosta State Richter scale with that slammer jammer and enters himself into the Phi Slamma Jamma fraternity. Valdosta State was able to get a steal but turned it back over. And more exciting action. It just won't stop. An exciting game tonight. We got to hope that Magawi is all right after crashing into the stands. A rather flagrant foul that time on Don Latson, but he was trying to prevent the layup. And Magawi will go to the line.
So there's just a minute and 11 seconds to go in this barn burner game here at the VSC Physical Education Complex. And the Blazers hold a 5-point, 79-74 lead over Troy State in this key Gulf South Conference matchup.
Well, don't take the dog for a walk yet. We got a minute and 11 seconds left of what is sure to be exciting Gulf South Conference basketball, and now it's only a 4-point lead. You're watching VSC TV.
Latson, Conley, Marlin, and Leon Jones in there for the Blazers.
Well, Leon Jones was assaulted that time, and I don't know whether to arrest the Troy State player or give him a foul. Looked like assault and battery down there. They finally picked up the foul, and taking a seat for the Troy State Trojans, Andre Hills will have to take a walk on that dreaded boardwalk as he fouls out of the game with 5 fouls.
And we certainly don't regret Andre leaving the game as he has 20 points and leads the scoring effort for the Troy State team. And Leon Jones will have a chance to think about his foul shots for a little while as we've got a timeout with the score, Valdosta State 79, Troy State 75.
Well, the Blazers can't rest comfortably yet. They have a minute 8 left to go in the game. They have a 4-point lead. They've played well tonight. I think they're going to get that 13-12 season, that winning season that was their goal at the beginning of this year, and rank 4th in the tournament. They look good to possibly pull off an upset and maybe even come out and win that Gulf South Conference tournament. We certainly hope so. They've provided some exciting basketball this year, and you've seen the best of it here on VSC TV. Don't forget, this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, the ladies will host the Gulf South Conference Ladies Basketball Tournament. Come on out to the complex. We can't tell you the times yet because they haven't been set due to the standings and rankings in the Gulf South Conference. But please check the times and come on out and support the Lady Blazers and cheer them on to yet another Gulf South Conference tournament title. They've won the last 2, and we hope they can win another one this year. But right now, back to action on the court, 79-75 Blazers with a 4-point lead. There's a minute 8 to go. Troy State certainly will continue to press, will try to steal the ball, get a couple steals, and get their way right back into the game. But Leon Jones will try to increase the Blazer lead to 6 with a couple of free throws here.
And for the final minute and 8 seconds, the Blazers will have Don Latson and Tommy Conley at the guard positions, and Mike Brown, Leon Jones, and Marlon Jones will handle the forward positions.
Well, a silent hush comes over the crowd. They're trying to give Leon silence to work with. And Leon answers their silence with a free throw.
And
That's what they were hoping for.
Valdosta State 80 and Troy State 75. And Leon tries to make it a 6-point lead.
And he can't quite do it. Cochran with the rebound. 5-point Blazer lead. Troy State. Hurdley back down the court. Knight to Cochran from about 15. Can't get it to go. Rebound, Marlin. Slam dunk time. Here comes
boy.
Mike Brown.
Well, a big disappointment for all you sports fans as Mike Brown fails on the dunk attempt.
And Mike Brown gets a little bit worried and looks over at Coach James Dominy, a little bit scared of missing that dunk shot. Obviously, Coach Dominy would like a sure layup or a sure dunk in this type of situation with only a 5-point lead. But Mike Brown, trying to please this enthusiastic crowd, narrowly missing that turnaround slam dunk.
Well, in any event, Tommy Conley has made the first of 2 free throws, and he's put the Blazers up by the score of 81-75, a 6-point lead, and it's now a 7-point lead with 45 seconds to go in this barn burner victory.
Well, Tommy Conley shooting 79% from the line shows why with 2 key free throws there. It's a 7-point Blazer lead. And Troy State with a prayer of a tip-in that time. The ball went up with a prayer and down with a blessing, and Troy State could call a timeout here, but they don't. They tried to call one, but the official said it was too late. So Valdosta State throws the ball in, and Garrett draws the foul.
Well, it's a good thing the Blazers got a foul in that situation, Keith, because Leon was not the guy that the Blazers wanted to have the ball. They tried to get it to their guards, Tommy Conley or Don Latson, but they were both heavily defended. So Leon gets a break, and he'll go to the line.
Well, the foul that time on number 21, Dennis Garrett, who played a fine all-around game for the Trojans tonight, and he'll take a walk on the boardwalk for the Trojans. Blazers send Leon Jones to the line. Another fine game tonight for Leon.
Leon about to enter the 20-point club if he cans these 2, but he doesn't.
Leon stays with 18 points, and Troy State refuses to die. A couple of jukes that time, and up and in from Agoe. It won't fall. Rebound, Marlin slows it down. Pass to Mike Brown. He pulls up the J. It won't fall, and Troy State stays in the game after that miss by the Blazers. Cochran won't fall down. Rebound, Fontenot. And 5 seconds to go. 2, 1.
And we got a foul here.
And with 1 second.
1 measly second left to go. The Blazers 82, Troy State 79.
And the crowd stands and cheers the effort tonight by the Blazers. One of their most exciting games of the year. They certainly have played well tonight. There's no way we could award a player of the game tonight. Several Blazers have played well. Marlon Jones, Leon Jones, a lot of clutch baskets by Mike Brown. Just some all-around good play, a definite team effort if there ever was one for the Blazers tonight. They will finish the year 13-12, a winning season for the hometown VSC Blazers.
And Marlon will miss.
And a long shot, taking it almost knocked a spectator out. We'll be right back in just a few seconds with an interview with winning coach James Dominy of the VSC Blazers. Your final score, VSC 82, Troy State 79.
You're watching VSC TV. We have the best in sports, drama, and all-around entertainment. Student-produced and community-oriented programming at its best is VSC TV.
Okay, we're here with Coach James Dominy.
Coach, you had a lot on the line tonight. You were playing for a winning season against a tough Troy State team, and you have to be happy about the way the Blazers pulled it out. Your thoughts on the game tonight, Coach?
Troy State has a very good basketball team. I know that. We played against them twice, and I know how they played other teams on the road. And I think they have a legitimate shot at that tournament championship next week. But I asked the players if they felt like they played real well. And all of them, you know, they know. They didn't play real well. I thought we should have won by 15 or 20 had we hit our free throws and been a little more percentage and a little more careful there with our turnovers and had a fewer number there. I think we could have won easily, but it could have gone either way there. We could have lost control of the game right toward the end. We got a 7 or 8 point cushion there and then let them cut it back there to 3 or 4. And then we were able to hang on, though. So I think the fact that we hung on and got the win at this point in the season is by far the most important thing.
Coach, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So the Blazers close out the 1984-85 regular season on a winning note, defeating Troy State by the score of 82-79. For Keith Murphy, I'm Walt Tennyson, saying good night.